what's going on? It's Tim Bell here again from TimothyBellFitness.com. First off, Happy New Year, and I hope you had a great holiday season with your friends, families, and loved ones. I know it can be tough going back to regular life after the long holiday season, but we all got to do it, and that's why I'm here talking to all of you right now. So the inspiration for this came, I was looking out the window over here, and a van drove by, plastered in ads on it for some kind of a fitness class claiming to give you the best workout you've ever had in an hour or under an hour. And I'd never heard of it before, so I Googled it, checked out their YouTube, checked out their website, and their corporation franchise from out of the States that's made their way up here into Canada. So they're probably spreading, so yeah, I would have heard of them sooner or later. So after looking at their stuff, they claim, like a lot of other things, to be revolutionizing the fitness industry. But really they're not. They're just a very high intensity interval class for an hour that makes you wear a heart rate monitor to make sure you're in an anaerobic zone. And they claim that as their afterburn zone. So you continue to burn calories even when the workout's done. So revolutionary. Fucking, no it's not. No it's not. That's been around for a really long time. If you paid any attention to the fitness industry for over the last 10 years, you'd know that group training with high-intensity training and things like Tabatas or sprint intervals and that sort of thing have been all the rage because interval training gets you great results in a shorter amount of time and helps you burn calories even when you're at rest. So does resistance training, lifting weights or doing your own body weight. Steady-state cardio, like a jog or a bike ride and that sort of thing, does not. So there's nothing revolutionary there. But that's not my beef. My problem is when I was watching the footage of people actually training in the class, there's a lot of people who work desk jobs or who are very overweight or are not very athletic. And they're in there just hammering their bodies for an hour under a lot of stress and doing silly shit too with weights, like doing jumping jacks with shoulder presses. What the fuck? Who coached that? But okay, whatever. It's just that if you come, or if you're a coach and you take somebody in off the street who is probably under a certain amount of stress for their work or their financials or their family or their love life, and they sit a lot and they're sedentary and their diet is shit and they haven't even thought about working out for a long time, and then you throw them into this high intensity class, you're just asking for problems, whether that's immediately or down the line. There's going to be some issues, whether that's injuries or burnout or whatever. There's going to be problems. You see, as a responsible coach or as a responsible gym owner, you should be taking in these new clients, and if you're the gym owner, feeding them to your good coaches. If you're the coach, taking in these new clients and running in-depth assessments with them. Checking out their posture, checking out their postural imbalances, seeing their strength imbalances, so their strengths and their weaknesses, their mobility, their flexibility, how they move, what they're eating, what their stress is like, and what drugs they're on. Hopefully not street drugs, but you know what I mean, like medication and that sort of shit. You need to be taking a look at all these things and then including that and taking that into consideration when you design a program for these clients. You don't simply throw them into a fucking high-intensity interval course right away. That's stupid shit, and if you're doing that, stop. Stop doing that shit. And if you're thinking about going to one of these courses, or these classes, I would seriously suggest working one-on-one with a qualified coach first, and then building yourself up to the point that you can go and do one of these classes. You see, your training is an added stress on your body. You're just kind of piling that on top of the other stresses in your life. If you're not in a place to handle that stress, you're going to further break yourself down. If you're in a good place to handle that sort of stress, it builds you up. It's like just enough stress that your body has to be forced to adapt and change and grow. But if it's not in the place to do that, it breaks it down. It's that simple. The other thing is, if you're taking someone who has postural imbalances and muscle imbalances and inactive muscle groups and overactive muscle groups that shouldn't be overactive, and then you throw them into one of these classes, you're just furthering that dysfunction. Does that make sense? Hopefully I explained that kind of clear enough. You're just furthering that dysfunction for them. And that's just going to result in injuries. It's a really big problem. You need to be addressing and assessing these imbalances and these strengths and these weaknesses and building that foundation before you go into doing these superhero-esque workouts. And then the other thing is, those superhero-esque high-intensity workouts need to be planned out and designed properly. There's no sense in just doing frivolous exercises like jumping jacks with stupid dumbbells and shit when there's so many other ones that are much more important that you could be doing and that are applicable to your everyday life. Movement-based exercises, shit that you do every day. Squatting, lunging, pushing, pulling, pressing, sprinting, all those sorts of things. Those are much more important than doing silly little leg lift exercises or doing little pressy jumping jacks or any number of leg flutters and dumbass shit like that. So it's all about assessing the person, then building the program for them, building their foundation, and working them up holistically into the right kind of workouts, and then smart programming. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? If you are personally not a coach and you're thinking about going and doing a high-intensity kind of class because you want to get into shape, first and foremost, clean up your diet. Your body's going to look great, and it's going to perform very well off of really clean whole foods. Very natural, minimally processed foods. I say it all the time. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, good meats, good fats, and just from the earth kinds of foods. And make sure you're eating when you're hungry, stopping before you're stuffed. So that's the first step. The other thing is, go with a coach who is going to assess these sorts of things for you and help you become the strongest you possible. It's really cliche, but it's so true. You're as strong as the weakest link in your chain. We need to strengthen those weak links before you can go and be a superhero in these kinds of classes. And take a look at the kinds of classes that are being run. If they're just silly-ass exercises that aren't based around big movement patterns that you should be doing, don't do it. If it's just silly stuff, don't do like ab ripper classes or tight booty classes where they're just doing like jumping jacks things and all that kind of crap. So that's the takeaway if you're thinking about going to these classes. If you're a coach, on the other hand, and this is the kind of class you're coaching, fuck you, seriously, because you're doing a disservice to these people. As a coach, you have a responsibility. You're taking these people's health and livelihood into your hands, and if you're not assessing everyone, and if you're not correcting them, and if you're not doing the things to make sure that they're good over the long term, not just losing 30 pounds in 2 months or whatever the fuck it is, it has to be a long-term approach, because if they're injured from you, whether it's now or later, that's on you, bud, and you fucked up. Seriously. And if you're just doing this because it's easy money to take people in off of the street and then have them do high-intensity classes because it's cool and sexy, fuck you again. Seriously, you're in the wrong goddamn business. You should be doing this to improve people and be a better coach yourself. And if you're not doing that, you're a shit coach. You have no business here. If you're not doing that, congratulations. You're probably an awesome coach, maybe? So, again, don't do these silly-ass classes unless they're structured and well thought out. And a good coach will tell you what you're doing wrong, when you should scale it back, what you should and shouldn't be doing, and assessing your strengths and weaknesses, period. I mean, I see it all too often, and I do see some very good coaches and some very good fitness studios that are assessing and that are taking care of their clients, but they're few and far between, and when you do find them, it's like nuggets of gold. And that's really where, I mean, if I can't work with someone personally, I refer them to those people. Even if I don't necessarily like those coaches on a personal level, on a professional level, I still send people to them. So there you have it, long-winded. We're approaching 10 minutes on this. I'll let it go. yeah, if you got questions, feel free to ask me down below. I'll do my best to answer. I'm kind of slow on it, but I'm trying to get better at that. You can always reach me on my Facebook at facebook.com/junglefit or facebook.com/TimothyBellPTS. Make sure you check out my blog, timothybellfitness.com. Lots of free stuff. I've got some ebooks that you can pay for whatever you can pay whatever you feel for those at the moment. And check out my Instagram, instagram.com/TimBellJungleFit. That's it for now. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care. Have a great day.